Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to F1 2020 My Team mode with Karlsson F1 Racing and Jonas Karlsson, the driver slash owner of the team. This week, good lord, today we will be doing the one-shot qualifier and then getting into the race here at the Australian Grand Prix, which is the first Grand Prix for Karlsson Racing F1. So let's get right into the qualifying lap and see how we do. Both Jonas Karlsson and my number 2 driver, who's well, his name escapes me at the moment, unfortunately. Alright, and here's the track. Now, they said it wasn't going to be raining at all during this entire race weekend, but it does look a little overcast, which I don't know if the forecast can be wrong in this game, but if they could be, that would be kind of an interesting dynamic, because it looks like the weather does look ripe for rain. One-shot qualifier, we are using our soft tires here, and let's go to the track. Alright, so far so good. During the last race they mentioned that we should be keeping an eye on our tire temperatures and tire statuses while we're out here on the track, so I'm going to be doing that a little bit more. Keep this window open during much of the race, if not the entire time. Currently we're right here behind Bottas. I expect that will probably not change. I don't see Williams. I don't see Karlsson Racing F1 competing with Mercedes, especially not Season 1 out here on the grid. The fact that I said Williams while referring to Karlsson F1 Racing kind of tells you all you need to know about what I think of our standings in the world of Formula 1. Williams, by the way, who I decided in our last episode because of a track incident that they initiated, is going to be our rival for this race, even though I said that AlphaTauri is who we're hoping to beat in the standings during this season. But I really, really hope that we get into some battles with Williams and just take them out of the race. Alright, so far we are 22nd qualifying pace, while Bottas is first. Not the best, but at least we aren't very bottom of the standings. And let's see how we ended things here. Yep, 22nd. Could have been better, definitely.
It's time to remind ourselves of our top 3. Bottas, Leclerc, and Max Verstappen. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Oh, excuse me, no, 22nd actually is the very worst I could have done. I don't know why I thought 24 was the worst we could have done, but no, we only had 2 more cars to the game, not 4. But our teammate Jack Aitken, he has jumped both Williams cars, and he's in 19th. But AlphaTauri, who I did say was who we're hoping to beat, they're doing quite a bit better than us there in the standings. But let's get right into the Grand Prix. We're going into Sunday here. We have the race, and hopefully, what's this? Yeah, our number 2 driver is actually, in all reality, our real number 1. In my career mode that I had with Jalen Adams, I had a lot of trouble being a member of the pack and overtaking and not colliding with people, unfortunately, and I haven't had any practice in those situations between that video and recording this one, so this could be an unmitigated disaster for Karlsson Racing F1. I'm really going to do my best not to collide with any vehicles, but you never know. We have a message here. Let's see what it says. Pre-race, you know, I usually advise caution on lap 1. No heroics, don't damage the car. Some stupid pun about carbon fiber. Well, I've been thinking maybe we should go for some heroics this time. Sometimes it's good to mix things up with a bit of aggression, you know what I mean? Let's get in those gaps, make sure the rest of the field knows, you know, push over, give me 100%, have a great race, Jeff. Well, Jeff, I hope we make you proud. We have 15 laps here at the Australian Grand Prix. and we are in the very bottom position on the grid. I'm not going to try and get too crazy in lap 1, even though Jeff said I should, because again, through corner 1, corner 2, I don't want to get into any collisions and do long-term damage to the car for the rest of the race. Some of the later laps, I think I could try and maybe get into one-on-one battles with cars and just slowly move up the table. That's my strategy. At least we'll see how it actually plays out in actuality. Excuse me, sir. Are you walking on water? I believe Jesus Christ himself may be here in Australia at the moment. Yes, let's. Hey, and Leclerc's in second. That's cool. They said Aitken and Karlsson, and now I know how to pronounce his name. It's Aitken. So, they wanted me to be aggressive through corner 1, but seeing as I had trouble in the Jalen Adams career mode with taking damage to the car when challenging through corners, I think I'm going to try and be a little more. I'm going to be a little more conservative through the first couple corners and wait until I can get some one-on-one battles with vehicles and move up through the grid in that manner. Because I want to avoid accidents at all costs, because I have some difficulty avoiding them in this game, apparently. That's something I've learned about myself over my short time playing it. And like here, I almost got into one. That was a close call. We have Latifi right here in front of us. Ahead of him, Kimi Räikkönen, I believe is that. And Aitken is up there in P20. Good for him. Karlsson at least isn't 21 and 22. So my first target is Latifi, of course. I cut that corner a little bit, and I'm up in 21. I have moved past Latifi, who is right here on my left. I'm going to turn on my overtake to get some power past him, and I'm cutting that corner just like that. So Karlsson, I am now up in P20. Ahead of me is Aitken. So Karlsson F1 Racing in P20 and P21. I don't want to screw over Aitken, but you know, I am the number 1 car, even though he's better than me. So I am going to have to try and get past him here in this straight, which I will do now, and I engage the overtake. And he got back in front of me. Aitken, very aggressive driver there. I went for the overtake. I did get past him, and he squeezed me out a little bit going into the turn, and then was able to get past me getting through it. So it looks like my biggest battle actually might be with my teammate here, Jack Aitken. Okay, yeah, I do have energy here, but I'm not going to use overtake through the corner. I am still having quite a bit of issue with cornering in this game. I'm discovering Latifi here. I'm gonna have to try and cut his angle off. All right, we're coming through the straight. I'll turn overtake back on. And then off through the corner. Ooh, that was a nice corner there. Up over the curb. And Latifi is still right there on my 6. Turn the overtake back on. Off through here. This is this grass corner I have a ton of difficulty with. It looks like Latifi, he took that on the outside. I might try that on my next lap through. Overtake back on. Just try and close a little bit distance between me and Aitken. Brake a little late through that corner to try and regain some speed. I saw his brake light was on, and I wanted to close the gap just a little bit there with a late brake. A little bit dangerous for me, as seeing as how novice my cornering skills are, but I really didn't have much other choice. Now Aitken is he is proving a tough one to overcome here, but he's also having difficulty himself getting past Russell, who's in front of him. So we have two little battles going on, me with Aitken and Aitken with Russell. And of course, I would like it if he could get past Russell, because I believe it was Russell who ended up spinning me out during our practice session, if I'm not completely mistaken with that. Of course, it could have been the other Williams car, but I do believe it was Russell. We have Latifi trying to get me on the outside there, but I cut him off. I don't know if he's going to be able to get past me this race unless I make some sort of grievous error, which is, of course, always a possibility when it comes to my driving in this game. Alright, and let's turn on our overtake here. We're out in the big straight. Excuse me, I just scratched my nose there. I think I bumped the microphone. It might have been a little loud. Alright, a late brake there again, which I think might be my go-to strategy from now on, because I can manage that corner better than a lot of the other ones that I've been coming up on in this race so far. And Latifi is really falling back now behind me, so I can just kind of focus entirely on getting past Aitken instead of worrying about what Latifi's doing back there. He looks fairly locked into P22 at this point. Now, one of our sponsorship, what's the word for it? Their tasks was that they want us to end races in the points 5 different times. And now, if Aitken and I are locked in here at 20 and 21, I don't know if we're going to have a lot of opportunities to actually accomplish that endeavor, which might be an issue. We might lose some cash flow and our sponsorship deal, which we can't really afford to do as a first season team. I maybe should have gone with that little easier of a sponsorship, whose their only requirement was just to finish the full season, which isn't much of a requirement at all. Oh, in the gravel, but I recover. But Latifi does get in front of me, and I'm out in the grass. This has turned into a disaster. I have the overtake on. I need to recover here, and I am able to, thankfully. I didn't spin out, as I am usually prone to do when I come upon hardships like that, so that's a little bit of an improvement. I was able to recover the car and get my pace back up where it needs to be. Latifi has gained on me, though, and I have lost pace on Aitken. He's widened that gap just over 5 seconds there. That may have spelled doom for me in this race as far as getting out of P21 is concerned, but at least I'm not completely out of it, and at least I didn't damage the car in the process there. Up on the curb, I am riding these curbs a lot. I might need to cut down that behavior because I feel like it is damaging to the tires. We have Latifi here. I'm getting a little arrow indicator that he's on my tail again. I'm going to turn on the overtake here through this little straight to get a little bit of distance there, hopefully. And yeah, it looks like I've widened that gap a little bit. He's just nearly a second behind us now. And now he's over a second behind us, but Aitken is nearly 6 seconds ahead in his pace. Avoid the grass here best I can. Necessary. And now we try on the overtake as we come into this straight here past the pit. And I don't think anybody has pitted. And I don't know if I expect any of them to. Okay, pit window, okay. And they want me to switch to hards, okay. So I wonder if my soft tires are getting worn down a bit here. They're at mid-20s% for most of them. Front left is almost to 30. I mean, it's not a terrible amount of wear, I feel like, but again, I'm not sure what the acceptable amounts are, or what the threshold is when you want to change it. I'm still learning a lot of that stuff. Oh man, Aiken has really opened that gap up. He's proven to be quite a bit of a better driver than Jonas Karlsson. He is our actual number one. I am a fake number one. Jonas Karlsson owns the team and is in fact the second best driver for it. He's just, he's just the money behind the operation. I'm going to turn overtake on here through this big green section on the racing line. Aiken trying to overtake. I got to turn on my overtake to hold him off a little bit. And then hard brake here, avoid the grass, come through the corner. And I don't know if I'm pitting in this turn or not, or this lap, excuse me. I might wait one more, try and get up a little bit of position on the people who do end up pitting soon. May push the tires a little bit harder than I should, just because I fell back into a position I didn't want to be in. I'm halfway through the race and the tires are on 35% wear is the worst one. Oh, no. That was a terrible move there by Latifi. Yeah, terrible move by Latifi. He should get a penalty for that because that was completely uncalled for. Out of the session. Yeah, that's what I thought. Take that, Latifi. Just a real jerk. Now, the car has some damage, and my tires have wear. I was told to be heroic in this race. I was told to give 100% in this race. Now, I've taken some damage, and my tires are barely hanging on. So, what's the heroic thing to do? Go into the pit, repair, and come back out and just accept my 21st place finish? Is that heroic? No. The heroic thing to do, and what Jonas Karlsson is going to do now, is to persevere. He's going to roll with the punches. He's going to stay out here on these tires with this damage. Jack is in the pit. It is Jonas's time now to avoid the grass, first of all, and to turn on the overtake, and to fly past the pit. And the goal now is to finish the race on these tires and with this damage, because Jonas Karlsson is a hero, and that is what a hero would do. I am now up in P17. Caution. Okay. Dan Ricciardo is now out of the session. So that's terrible for Dan Ricciardo, who I believe was in actually a pretty decent position prior to him going out of the race just now. I have... who is on my tail? I believe that's Reich. Oh no, that's Giovinazzi on my tail. And my goal now is to hold Giovinazzi off for the remainder of the race, and I have just opened up a bit of pace between him and I. Tire condition looking good, and I am on lap 8 of 15. I think it is possible that Jonas Karlsson could finish out the race with the current car setup, and he could become driver of the race if he does so. If not officially, in my mind, at least. Although he is always driver of the race in my mind. Overtake, oh, a terrible corner there, kind of screwed me a little bit. Overtake on, and I have to move past this car. Russell behind me, Grosjean ahead. I am out of overtake. Disable there, coming into the corner, don't want to hit Grosjean. Okay, faster engine mode's available. I'm going to go rich, how about that? I think that'll help me. I'm not certain. Oh, trying to overtake out of that corner because that was a really bad corner for me. So I have on rich fuel mode now. My damage is looking a little rough. My temperatures are okay at least, which is good. And I'm going to close this window. Oh, in the grass, but I avoid the spin. Disable the overtake there. Enable. And now I have fallen back to 20th place, which is worst in the race. That was a terrible corner. I completely mistook what was happening there, and it ended up screwing me over. And I now have a pretty sizable gap, and the car is even worse for the wear. The damage is getting quite bad now. The tire wear is over 50% on that front left tire and 40% on the rear left. With my original soft tires. Let's try on the overtake here. Close the window on our tires. We know things are bad, and we know they're going to stay bad. I'll disable the overtake. The handling is honestly abysmal right now with the tires in the state they are and the damage to the front wing. We have the rich fuel mix still, which should be okay for the remainder of the race. And we're going through this corner here. Okay, and the gap between us and Aitken is just widening. I'm not really sure. I think I'll have difficulty in this game once I get behind in the race, coming back from it, and again I'm in the grass and the gravel. I don't know how to avoid that. I'm hammering the brake as hard as I can, and the car is still, like there, I was completely down the brake, and the car is still, and I'm going to go here again, and I think I'm just going to have to go in the pit, and I think I'm going to have to retire this race. This has turned into a complete disaster. And it's our first Grand Prix, and I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it because time and time again I've just made the wrong decisions. Yeah, and I'm going to have to retire from this session, unfortunately. Just too many mistakes, too many issues. I was doing well at first, and then I got screwed over a little bit by the hit, and then I started to retake some command, but the damage in the tires is just too much to overcome, and I screwed myself out of a better finishing position, honestly. A lot of that does come down to me. And it looks like Mercedes here is going to be our winner. And it was Bottas with the finishing the race in P1. Lando Norris in 8th. And let's see where Aitken finished. Alright, so our podium is Bottas, Hamilton, and I can't think of his name at the moment. I know his name. Max Verstappen. Terrible first weekend for Karlsson F1 Racing. Hopefully that chassis upgrade will come in next week, in time for next weekend, and we can get a little more experience under the drivers' belts. And where does Aitken finish? He finishes 18th ahead of George Russell for Williams, and then Karlsson, of course, he does not finish along with Ricciardo and Latifi. So again, horrible first race there for Karlsson F1 Racing. And of course, the only place we can go from here is up, and we have an interview. Why do you think I made a few mistakes there? More consistent. That is absolutely true. I was like an idiot magnet today. That is true. Yeah, I definitely got screwed over in that race, and both drivers ended up paying the price. You know, and the guy who hit me, he ended up going out before I did, but unfortunately, we both ended up going out in the end, which is unfortunate. Damage reductions, we lost 30,000, so we made a total of 20,000. We're up to 1.45 million in cash flow. I don't believe that's enough yet for any of the upgrades that I was looking at on the list, but I guess we will see when we come in here for the next video. Anyways, that's all for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, where you'll see more content just like this every single day.